Thursday night's primetime January 6th Select Committee hearing will be taken live by every broadcast and news network, except for one. Fox News opting not to cover the event live. Their sister network, Fox Business, will provide wall-to-wall coverage, and Fox News loyalists will be able to watch on streaming platforms. But that's not enough for so many in the mainstream media who are calling Fox's decision disgraceful and even un-American. I just don't think the decision is that big a deal. There are plenty of other places to watch it. Why is it required for every news network to take the entire proceeding live? Our next guest, Colby Hall, founding editor of Mediaite.com, which I founded, wrote a column today titled "Fox News is Betraying Its Own Viewers and Selling Out the Country with Disgraceful Decision Not to Air January 6th Hearing." Colby, welcome back to the show. All right, so look, I think that the January 6th hearing is important. I think it's important to report on it. But why does Fox have to air it live, just like everybody else? Why does it make it disgraceful and almost un-American for them not to take it?
Because it's not Fox, it's Fox News. And they call themselves a news network. Look, if it were ESPN or, Home Shopping Network or, Adult Swim Cartoon Network, sure, no. But Fox News presents itself as a news network, and this is real live, straight news event that they are opting to not share with their audience. They're going to cover it. When they decide that something that they find is newsworthy, they're going to cut to it. But that gives them the editorial upper hand instead of just letting its viewers watch unedited, unadulterated, raw coverage. Sure, it may be stilted. Sure, it may be politically driven by Democrats, but it's still responsible for a news network to cover it live.
But why? I mean, what is it about being a news network, right? And you're highlighting this word news, right? What is it about being a, quote, news network that makes it required that you must, of course, take this as a live event? Because if you don't, then you're not a news network. I mean, seriously, what is it about this? Why, with so many options out there, can't Fox News make a decision that they're going to put on some of their other programming? You want to watch this live? You can. I mean, you're almost saying it's like, a national obligation on their part, right? It's almost their civic duty.
Well, I believe that to be true because honestly, I think that there is a journalistic responsibility that they're owed if they're going to call themselves a news network. And believe me, they have a lot of great reporters. They do a lot of good news during the day. Primetime is entertainment packaged as news. It's not real news. And, an accepted responsibility for any news network is to provide that coverage. Why they should do it? They don't have to. But what they're doing is they're counter-programming, knowing that they're going to get great ratings and drive ad revenue, and they're putting their bottom line, their business benefit, over what I believe to be the greater good, because Fox News viewers, of all people, need to learn about what happened on January 6th. People attacked the Capitol. And that's a story that's largely been ignored on Fox News Primetime. Here's a golden opportunity for those viewers who've been kind of had their head under the ground to see firsthand exactly what happened.
But it does sound, if you're a Fox News viewer, you're going to listen to you and be like, that condescending guy on telling me what I need to know, right? Colby Hall telling me what I ought to know, what I don't know, what ought to be ensured that I have a right to see. I mean, again, you're still not completely convincing me. I get, look, if I were making the decision, I would say, yeah, why not air it? It's an important event. But I'm just not offended the way that you are and so many in the liberal media bubble are just up in arms about this.
Well,
Fox, this just shows they're not news.
Well, I'm sorry I offended you, but I will say honestly that I think we are in such a balkanized, divided state. It's exactly what Matthew McConaughey said at the White House press briefing. We're so divided when it comes to media consumption that this is an opportunity for an outlet to cover something that is happening in real time. And those viewers, and I have a lot of dear friends who are obsessive Fox News viewers. I watch Fox News all the time. These are people that need to know what went down, because a lot of these people have chosen to ignore it. And I think there's an obligation for the outlet to share with their viewers a true story.
If they watch the impeachment proceedings, do they get an out?
They get one chit. There's two
are they
chits.
allowed to say, well, look, I did watch the impeachment proceeding. I saw a lot of what happened. So am I allowed to, does Colby give me an out now?
I think it's serious. I think an attack on the Capitol is a serious thing.
I do too. Look, I'm only talking about it from the media perspective. I think it's very important. I've said it again and again. I think that the people who were involved should be prosecuted, and particularly the people who attacked police should have the book thrown at them. This is serious stuff.
Right.
And how this happened is serious stuff.
Look, it's a political endeavor, and there's reasons to be cynical about the political endeavor, and I think the Democrats are using this as a buzzer shot to try to, like, you know, make a benefit for their midterms.
So if you believe that, then why shouldn't Fox?
Because it's still news, and it shouldn't be up to a network to decide to cherry pick which they want to cover. You know, MSNBC covered Benghazi wall to wall. Fox News actually cut away from Benghazi, oddly enough, because they counter-programmed. And I think the issue that I have is that they are putting their revenue ahead of what I believe.
But is it?
Call me smug, but
Yeah.
I think there's a greater good to have an informed body politic.
But is it their revenue, or is it appealing to their audience and saying
those two are married, right?
Right, saying what do you want to watch today? This is a news
Well,
network.
so then we're letting mob rule decide what we're going to, and I think therein lies the real the crux of the problem with Fox News is they're delivering news that serves people who are not necessarily interested in the real story, but rather comfort food that makes them feel
Other
good about
news
themselves.
networks don't base their decisions on ratings?
No, they totally do that.
Which is
but
revenue?
We're not talking about CNN and MSNBC at this point, although that is totally a fair argument. I'll cede that point.
Yep.
However, in this instance, I really wish Fox News were airing this live because I think it would be better for the nation.
I wish they were, kind of, but I'm just not offended the way that
I'm sorry you're so deeply cynical, but I'm a proud American.
No, I get it. And look, and by the way, you are now a hero in the liberal media bubble. I mean, did you see the way Colby stuck it to Dan Abrams about Fox News? He was sticking it may make a Mediaite post. It's true. Colby Hall, thank you as always.
Thanks,
appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.